Hijaz almost a century ago. One of the first things they did was to demolish the graves and the shrines of not only the Ahlul Bayt and even other, Sahaba in Jannatul Baqee in Medina. And then they did the same thing with Jannatul Mu'alla. The graves are still there, just in Jannatul Baqee, but there's no, no shrine, no building over it. And of course, this is a very narrow understanding of the Salafi Wahhabi ideology. And the Shias, from the time at least when I remember from my childhood, every year we commemorate the tragedy of the demolition of Jannatul Baqee on the 8th of Shawwal, just a week after the month of Ramadan. And this is commemorated to remember that tragedy which took place. And there is an organization which was formed just recently, a few years ago, based in Chicago, the Baqee organization. And they actually have organized a global campaign to protest what happened to the shrines of the Ahlul Bayt and the early, personalities of Islam in Jannatul Baqee as well as Jannatul Mu'alla. Because this year, 8th of Shawwal, will be 100th year of the incident, the tragedy of the demolition of the graves. And so the idea has been there among many Shia communities, all the way from Australia to South Asia, to basically commemorate that event in a bigger way. To at least, let the Saudis, more I would say the Wahhabi and Salafis, know that we are not going to forget what happened. And, the minimum thing is that to ask the permission that we are able to see the shrines built again. And so, the organization has been active in different cities in North America, in Europe, in the Middle East, as well as in South Asia, Australia, even in Africa. And there is a group also formed here to represent them, and they will be, inshallah, addressing different communities in GTA area. The idea is basically to have that majlis of the 8th of Shawwal this year more prominent, at a higher level, and also to have a protest, whether you do it in the center itself or the rallies which will be organized. And, we've been hearing things that, now that the relationship, the diplomatic ties between Iran and Saudi is being reestablished, maybe you should just forget about this issue. No, brothers and sisters, these are two different issues. We pray for that peace in the Middle East, and especially the diplomatic ties between the two major Muslim countries in that region. Hopefully that will bring some stability and more peace in that region. This issue of Jannatul Baqee is beyond the countries and diplomatic relationships. This has to do with the issue of expressing our support, for the Mazlumiyat of Ahlul Bayt. And so it has nothing to do with a political statement in that way. We are not talking about regime change in Saudi Arabia or anything like that. This is more talking about, protest against what happened to Baqee, Jannatul Baqee and Jannatul Mu'alla. And, our hope and wishes that, inshallah, during our own time, we will be able to see a decent, shrine, a simple one in these two graveyards, inshallah.